We're making podcast history this evening, folks. I have one of the greatest people to graduate from the University of Hartford. Joseph Del Rio has joined me on the Productive Conversations podcast. He's a former roommate of mine. He's one of my best friends ever out of school. Every single time I get to either text him or talk to him in person, I just know there's always great vibes. Seriously, this is an amazing man, and I am blessed to have him on the show today. Joseph Del Rio, a.k.a. JDR, what is going on? Thank you for joining the Productive Conversations podcast.
What's going on, Matty B? You can also refer to me as the People's Champ if you prefer.
Of course, I do prefer the People's Champ because you are the People's Champs out here, Joe. Dude. I'm so happy you're here, man. Bro, where do we start with the legendary JDR? I mean, first things first. So, it's been a crazy 2020. You are living in Manhattan now, and you're rising up in the world of real estate. So I'm my first professional real estate agent here who works for a very great real estate firm. I don't know if he wants me to say it or not, but either or, it's a very established place, and he's rising up in the ranks. And JDR, bro, I'm just so proud of seeing what you're doing in the real estate world. And first things first, and also being a success in the borough of Manhattan, in New York City, man, you're the whole package here. First thing first, tell me, how has it been living in Manhattan recently, especially amongst this pandemic?
That's a great question, Matty B. It's been a little bit different, but adjusting to the new normal. Definitely, as everyone says, outdoor dining is great. Definitely utilizing that. And just kind of soaking up this warm weather for as long as we can so we can continue the outdoor dining, and just not really thinking about tomorrow and just playing it day by day, and keeping a positive mindset, because that's what it's all about, especially in a time like this, when there's so many uncontrollables. You just got to control what you can control, and that's your mental health and your physical health. So a lot of in-home workouts, a lot of runs around Central Park. But I feel great, and I'm just excited, for what's in the future. Hopefully once this thing is wrapped up.
Wow,
Sooner rather than later.
Inspiring as always, JDR. Man, I love that answer to that. Yo, tell me. So, we're recording this on Tuesday.
First, before we go any further, Matty B, I'm just excited to be on the podcast because you reached out to me when you were first starting it, and then weeks went by and you kind of ghosted me. And I was like, dude, what's up? And then you had people like Kevin Schaefer and Eric Sequeria. I'm like, dude, what do I got to do to get on Matty B's podcast? I guess I got to have like a car commercial or something.
Oh, JR, I can't ghost you or ignore you. I just been, I asked a bunch of people at once and they all said yes all at once. So I've been fortunate enough for people willing to come on and trying to fit things in, but you were really high on the list. And as soon as I was better organizing the schedule, you were one of the first I really, really had to get. And now we're here for that. So I do apologize for the delay. And I promise there won't be any more extreme delays after that. And I'm already having a lot of fun on this podcast, and I hope you're already thinking about coming on again soon. So, again, sorry for the.
It almost didn't happen tonight for various technical difficulties, and I also had a Hinge date, but she canceled on me. So
What?
Here we are.
Hold up. We have this Hinge date cancel on you? Say her name now so we can expose her. Okay, not really,
No.
but I'm just kidding. Not really, but.
You could say the name of the firm I work for. I'm not that big of a deal yet.
Okay, but you work for Compass Realty, and they have been.
Hell yeah. $6.4 billion valuation, and I'm just along for the ride.
And they've been all, actually, I used to temp at Compass in Westchester, believe it or not.
Oh, really? I remember you told me that, and I thought, like, literally you were at my office.
No, they put me in the Westchester office, the Larchmont's particular. But I worked in Larchmont and Scarsdale's where I temped. And yeah, I think.
What interview number am I?
What interview are you, like, in the rotation?
Where am I? I'm definitely a bullpen guy. I'm not in the starting five.
No, but you're the closer out here. You're the Mariano Rivera. You're not the Aroldis Chapman. You're not blowing the save.
I was hoping to get on like being like top five because when the podcast blows up, like people see my name under like the first five interviews, but no one cares about like number 17 or 18 or whatever
They
number
just
I
care
am.
about the one that is in the moment. And like with
But
you at
then
this,
again, I feel like I'm number 17 or 18 on a lot of people's lists. So
but
don't take that too much to heart.
I just want to say that I'm sorry, Giannis with the 17th pick, and look at him now. I think throughout the history we could show some cool numbers like that. But it's it matters what's happening now at this moment, and
You're right, Matty B.
we're only going up from here. I mean, Greg Kittle was a second round pick in the 46. He was a second round pick, I think, pick 46. Best. I mean, well, that's a bad example because he's hurt. But Tom Brady was 199. So look where he's at now.
Yeah, I think a lot of general relate to Tom Brady, right? With those draft pictures.
Dude, especially, I mean, we definitely know Tom Brady's doing something. I don't know. This man, what do he have, like a double chin when he got drafted, and now he has no fat whatsoever 20 years
Yeah,
later?
he's dating Giselle. You might have to edit all this out. It might get us canceled, but
No,
I'll let you be the judge of that.
no, we're not canceling out here, man. No canceling out here. But we're just trying to pull through for all the people here. But the moment is here. You're here right now. You're having fun, and dude, we're just making history. And let's take a toast. You said break some brewskis out, so I got my Peroni Italian
Yeah,
beer. You got your
we got
Natty
some
Light.
natty resources, some natural resources.
Mm.
15 pack for like it was actually 15 pack for $10, which is actually not a terrible deal.
Where'd you get that? Dwayne Reed?
Yeah, Dwayne Reed. Dwayne Reed's going out of business though.
You think so?
R.I.P.
Oh,
Well,
how
yeah,
could
they're shunned. I see. They're like vacant all over the place. It's
and
sad to see.
CVS and Walgreens are pulling in there to take over?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I feel like every day I go out, no matter what like the neighborhoods I'm used to, like Upper East Side, I feel like every other time I walk out of my apartment, I see a store, a retail store, or a place that used to be a restaurant that's
Mm-hmm.
like closed for good. It's
Dude.
really sad to see.
Yeah, like as I was telling you, as a former commuter till the pandemic's over in the city, and just hoping for all the places I hung out at. I just hope they still survive. Before the pod, you did tell me the 13th step is still making it, which makes me happy to hear.
Yeah, it was. I never knew where the 13th step was
Mm-hmm.
until I rode past it the other day, and it was popping.
Yes, that makes me
College
so happy to hear.
football, they had TV screens outside,
Mm-hmm.
college football on, bros with sunglasses, just having a good time drinking their bottomless mimosas. Brad would appreciate that.
bro, bro, you know what's funny about New York City during college football season on a Saturday? You really do see so many people migrate with different college teams wherever they find a bar at. I always
Yeah,
find that
no, and
funny.
that's what I miss. I miss like getting I work mostly on weekends being in real estate. I miss, getting out of work at like 2 or 3 o'clock and heading into a bar to catch the tail end of the game
Mm.
with some buddies. It's the little stuff like that I miss. Nothing crazy. And it's tough. And I feel, we're I understand that I'm in a better situation than a lot of other people. I'm very fortunate to still have a job.
Mm.
But then again, people our age, we're not getting this time back.
No.
Like I'm not 22 anymore.
Yeah. You know,
So
me and Sam, our mutual friend Sam, we were talking about this the other day. He's like, yo, they really, COVID robbed us of 25. You hear so many people say, I remember when I was 25 and did this. I remember 25 and did that. And my 25, 70% of it's been home and trying to prosper one way or the other. And I want to make 26 the new 25. That's my goal. I'll be 26
yeah,
next month.
but to put a positive spin on it, it was a perfect time to have a quarter life crisis. Literally no better time.
What a more relevant time, dude. Seriously. Talking about times, right? I want to just bring up one thing. So you were, as living in Manhattan, you were in the city when they announced that Joseph Biden became the president of the United States. Can you tell me where you were when you found this news, and how did you celebrate? If you celebrated, or if you were sad about it, or whatever your
Yeah.
outcome was.
So it was. I don't know what day this is dropping, but over this past weekend, it was absolutely beautiful out.
Hmm.
And I was showing an apartment in my neighborhood on the Upper East Side, and I was in between showings, and I all of a sudden I just heard all these cars honking and screaming and yelling and of cheer, and I walked outside of the apartment building up towards First Avenue, and literally it was dead stop traffic, people honking their horns, people coming outside of their apartments, banging pots and pans,
No way.
people out on their balconies, just going crazy. A lot of Biden Harris face masks and everything and balloons. It was really cool to see. I haven't been in the city for that long, and so um, I don't have much to go off, but I've never seen that type of energy in the city. And regardless of which way you lean, that's an energy, that's an energy all of us should be able to get behind, and just kind of ride out once we get rid of this COVID thing. So if that's what we have in store, all of people coming together for the next 4 years, that's an America I can live in. And I think that's an America a lot of people can live in, regardless of which way, um, you fall.
Wow, that's really
So
powerful to hear and very inspiring as always, JDR. Seriously. Wow, I like that. Very sweet. And I can't agree more with you with that. You always have that memory for the rest of your life. Tell your kids about it.
yeah,
I'm sure like that there probably wasn't top vibes like that since like when we got Osama bin Laden or the end of World War II.
yeah. I mean, I think just with everything going on, people are just so uptight because we're human beings. We're supposed to be around other people, and we're not around other people. People are losing their jobs, and everyone's uptight.
Hmm.
Um, it was. I think that was news New York City needed. Um,
Definitely.
so it was awesome to see. And then so I was uptown, and then I rode downtown, and it was same reaction. Everyone just in a bundle of joy. And then I ran around Central Park later that afternoon, like around sunset, and
Hmm.
the like the parks, not the park, like the green, like where Tavern on the Green is, like a
Yep.
restaurant.
I think they're not I think they're not making it after this pandemic, I heard.
Really? I is the boathouse open? I feel like they have.
It was either the tavern or the boathouse. One of those two is not going to make it, but
I feel like the boathouse is set up for something like this because it's
yeah,
almost all outside.
exactly. Oh,
That's actually where my parents got married.
did they really? How about full
Yeah.
circle? My grandma's from Manhattan, and she grew up on the upper east, or the upper west side, right by that on 113th Street, just 3 blocks from the park. And yeah, look at that. Look at our routes coming together.
Yeah, it all comes full circle.
Yeah, and like
But
my dad's from the Bronx. My grandpa moved to the Bronx after World War II and met my grandma, and they started the family. And that's where my dad grew up in the Bronx. And yeah, we're all here together.
it's the South Bronx.
No, more the North Bronx, like Baychester, Co-op City, like that area, like the very top.
That's awesome, man.
Do you know how your parents met?
Uh, yeah.
On Tinder?
No, they did not meet on Tinder. That's actually something I'm petrified about. I mean, I get that it's our generation, but I my wife on Tinder.
Meet your wife on a dating app. We know that we're gonna have this recorded and we're gonna meet the one, and we'll refer to this.
No, I feel like a lot of people just use, especially in the city. Actually, it's a mix, but I know mindset with Hinge and Tinder, especially with quarantine and outdoor dining. I just use it as like something to do,
Yeah.
like just to get out of my apartment
No, that's
per
you have
se.
a
And I
really good reason, man. Like when I was working in the city, I actually bought Hinge like the premium. Like I like signed up for the whatever monthly fee. And it was totally worth
yeah,
it
I
because
feel
I
like good on you for being open about that. I feel like a lot of people don't.
oh I don't give a fuck.
Like hit the
I had some
scales and
awesome
Tinder.
times from that. Hmm?
Really? Dude, they try to get me to pay the premium like every time I'm on there, but I'm
I
just
won't
not
lie.
doing
Whether I say I caved or not, I don't care. I've had some cool experiences from doing that. Specifically dating in New York City.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
it's cool. It's it's the stuff you miss, just grinding all day and then remembering that you're grabbing drinks with someone at like
yep.
around 7, 8 o'clock, just kind of online.
Oh, I
Um,
miss that a lot, bro. Oh man.
we're just going to MSG to watch St. John's because I haven't been doing a Nick game in a year.
Yeah, I haven't
Uh,
been in a game in a few years myself. Or I just miss going to Yankee games, even though up in the Bronx, going to get dinner, just walking. Just going to sightseeing, dude. And I mean, I even missed my train. I missed the MTA train. I can
missed
honestly
the
say that.
MTA,
Yes.
missed the MTA.
I miss my getting my extra hour being productive on that train ride home. But hopefully now they take the
Yeah,
middle seat away from this.
we'll see. I mean, the subways are definitely more crowded than you expect.
Mm.
That's why I got my city bike pass, $194 for
I
the
had a
entire
city
day.
bike pass when I was commuting. I
Great
use
way
it,
to experience the city.
dude.
And
And
people say it's dangerous, and like, yeah, it is. But like, if I get hit by a car or a truck, like, if that's ever gonna happen, like, it might as well be now. You know.
yeah, you get paid, get your settlement money after that.
Well, that and just like, there's not a whole lot going on.
That's the thing, dude. I wound up buying a helmet from it. From I almost busted my ass downtown once by
Yeah, dude, I
um
got my helmet right here. You gotta always have your helmet on you at all times,
oh yeah, that's the thing
regardless
now.
of the circumstance.
Dude, have you ever heard of the scooters,
The birds.
the birds? And I think there have
Yeah.
some in the Bronx, but did they make it in Manhattan yet? I've been a lot of cities
No,
have there.
they have what they have in Manhattan now is even crazier. They have the Rebel scooter, the mopeds,
No way.
like little motorcycles. Um, they came around like beginning of summer,
They
and then like
actually did it.
there was like 16 accidents in like a week, and then they took them away, and then they just rolled them out again. And in order to get on one, you got to send a selfie of yourself with the helmet on.
I love that. Are you able to like drop them anywhere like the birds, or do you have to put them in different docks like the city bikes?
No, yeah. So there's like docking stations all
Okay.
over the city, and I think it's like you get like 45 minutes on it, and then they charge you extra.
The
Um, but
the
it's cool.
worst
I mean, it's great. It's easy, and I like it.
the worst on city bikes is when you go to a dock that's full and you're like running late. I have to go to find different blocks over the place and put it there. I hate that so much.
Or when it doesn't accept
Yep.
the bike, you just look like an asshole.
You're just pushing it docked and you get charged extra. You see some guy
Yeah,
waiting on the corner. It's like, yo, wait up, bro. I gotta go.
yeah, it's all part of the New York experience. So I guess I am experiencing New York in
Mhm.
that aspect. Um, but then again, I miss being 24 in New York City.
Oh my god, I can't imagine, man. It shows how loyal to the city you are. I know a lot of
Well, yeah, I
gentrifiers
mean,
moved back to Ohio after this.
right. Well, I mean, the last thing I want to be is someone else who fails in real estate. So,
That's not
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
be
you.
here. I'm gonna be here until I'm not.
I hear that. Do you think? I mean, this is a broad question, but do you see yourself living in Manhattan at least for the next 5 years, or do you want to see what else is out there?
Yeah.
Like, you want to sell these high rises and all these cool apartments and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff will kind of take care of itself as
Mhm.
long as I kind of stay true to my values and just kind of putting my best foot forward. But yeah, I think I definitely want to raise my family in Manhattan. I feel like
That's awesome. I'm the same way.
kids that kids that grow up in Manhattan are kind of just kind of not edge is the wrong word, but they're they get it. They understand the grind, and I wish that's something I experienced more of when I was a kid.
In
Um,
New Jersey. Mhm.
yeah, yeah, in Bergen County, because I remember when I first interned in the city in summer of my junior year, I had no idea like subways, like
Mhm.
uptown, downtown, like I lived on 55th and Third, and literally had no idea like the West Village existed. Like I would just stay in my little bubble, like
Yep.
because that's where all my friends were, and then I'd go up for a Yankee game. We
Mhm.
we actually went to a Yankee game that summer.
Yes, we did. We saw them play the Tigers with Teddy Moran's. Ooh, we had
Yeah,
podcast. It was a really close
and
game too. They
yeah,
fucking
no, it was
lost
a good game. The Bronx was definitely burning. You were the
easily.
we looked like the biggest nerds there.
Yeah, we sat right in the bleacher creatures too, like right above them. That's where I picked the
Yeah,
tickets.
and you were wearing your full suit. It was like 100 degrees out.
Yeah, that's right. I did. I right after it was either interview or something work related. I came in the typical Manhattanite suit there and back and just drinking a beer with that big fat $12 beer and enjoying myself.
Yeah, Teddy looked like a 6-year-old, and and,
Ali
and
Guapa,
Alex Guapo was wearing like a
like a soccer
NYFC
shirt.
shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah, wrong
YFC.
sport.
Yo,
Wrong sport.
right place, wrong sport.
Dude, speaking of other people who were on the podcast before me, Theodore Morant.
Yes.
He actually, I saw he did it in person. That looked cool. I actually feel really bad for those kids that missed out on their senior year,
Yeah.
their second semester.
At
That
U Heart
sucks.
too.
Well, yeah. Well, I feel like I'm at the point in my life. Obviously, I have a ton of friends from UHeart, but I'm trying to like move past that like fraternity stage of
Oh,
my life,
definitely. Like
like where I'm not talking about it 24/7.
yeah, like it was a cool phase, but it's time to like enjoy the real part. Of course, the fraternity will always have a special place in our heart, but it's time to grasp
And
about that.
yeah, I love a lot. I'm best friends with a lot of those guys. But I just like when I speak about Hartford, I try to like not say not use Theta Chi as much, just because like
Mhm.
I'm 25 now.
Yeah,
And that's a big
right.
deal.
Yo,
And
bro.
I'm so thankful for Theta Chi. That's how I met almost all my friends in college. But I think it's time to kind of put that chapter to bed.
Yeah, who likes shotguns
And just
beers anymore? I bet your boys the core
well,
four still shotgun beers.
I'm still down to shotgun a beer. I'd love to shotgun a beer, but just talking about like the like fraternity stuff and stuff that went on in college, which was awesome when I was 19 years old. But
It's like,
kind of
yo,
time to
remember
put
that social
that
with
chapter to bed. Yeah,
remember that social with
college was
DG
fun.
and this happened and that and I did it and I did that. Yeah, we don't need that
Yeah.
anymore.
Uh, like like remember when I got turned down by like all the girls I wanted to ask.
Yeah, remember all my semi rejections and misfortunes. I just know karma
Who
and
was
God.
the girl? I was thinking about this the other day, and I spent like a half hour. Who's the girl you made the video for, which I also got edited out from?
Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna leave this in. So I made it for. I made it. Yes, I was. Let me check. Oh my god. Okay, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. So, yes, my June. Oh, okay. Junior year, we had the formal, and I had this person I was friends with, and I was really
Dude, no, it was the picture. Remember the picture in
oh my the picture. Yeah, I
that
know
that
you
we would
talking.
that that all the boys would tap before going out. I mean, I didn't tap it before going out to the bar because I wasn't 21 yet and I wasn't that cool, so I didn't have a fake ID.
Yeah, neither did I. Um, yes. So, yeah, my I had this friend that I really would have loved to gone to. I would have loved to gone to formal with, and pretty much it was. I think I was just so in the time, and it's a everything I'm saying. It's a different time. As much as I'm a fan of this person, I don't think I would if I was thinking straight or had or knew what I knew now. I wouldn't have done that, but it was a different time, and I really wanted to make the most shoot my shot
Matt Brown,
moment I could ever.
some would argue that you're still not thinking straight.
Well, you know what? To them, I am, and I'm great with it. But yes, I really wanted this person to come with me to the formal, so I thought of the best way to, whether it was the right decision or not. I thought of the most shoot your shot moment ever, and I made this formal proposal video as a way to like I wanted to make it, I didn't want to make it seem like I'm in love with the person because I really wasn't. But I just really wanted to think of the most unique way. I could just send a text, I could say a call, but
You could ask
again,
her what her favorite movie was.
I've plenty of others. We could get into that question, but I just wanted to shoot my shot, and yeah, I for like 2 weeks just made this video again. If I just sat down, the right decision was to not do it and grow our friendship more from that instead of just feeling ambitious and thinking I'm going to have this great, high school movie moment. But I made this video, like this 4-minute video saying why you should go to the formal with me. And I made it private, didn't make it public. I do think it would have gone viral. I got the idea because there were all these people who would make videos for celebrities to ask them to their prom, and I don't know why I thought that was a good idea to try myself. But I
Is this
just
girl a celebrity now?
yeah,
She
she's a
made this
celeb.
video?
She's gonna be a celebrity someday. So I made the video.
Not before you, Maddie B.
No, no. So I would ask my friends like you and JDR. I am sorry that I didn't have you in the final cut, but I was just running. But the reason why is because the video was shoddy and I couldn't hear you. But I really liked your
Kind of like,
answer a lot.
kind of like the beginning of this interview.
Yes, the first take for this. The reason why I didn't have you is because it was shoddy and there was bad lighting and I couldn't hear you. But I would
You
ask these people why
explained
they
about
think they should go with me. I get like the prettiest sorority girls to come on and say like, "Oh, if they like Matt, that must be." And yeah, I sent it on a private YouTube link for some reason. And I got a call. I had this very, how do I say this? Emotion, I guess emotion off the world. Very flattered and stuff. And I just didn't want to make them uncomfortable and embarrassed. But I mean, so she says she took the effort to try to figure it out. She was coming from far away, and it just didn't pan out. And in return, I took somebody else, and she fucked one of our brothers instead in the room. Don't feel bad for me. Don't worry. It's kind of funny. Think about this. All this effort I put in to try to impress this girl, she genuinely can't make it and try. So I asked somebody else from Sam's damn suggestion, and I paid money for this girl to come by only to fuck somebody else. But you know what? It's okay because I'm still alive and we have these great stories to share. And
Well, it makes it sound like you're paying her to get laid, which also wasn't the case.
yes, I paid for her to get laid, and well, I didn't get a thank you. And you know what was funny?
I completely forgot about that.
You know what was funny? She asked me that like that weekend after. She asked me, "Do you have the pictures from this week?" Like, why don't you ask the person you fucked?
Yeah, well, it's all a learning experience, Matt Brown. And
Exactly.
here you are now.
Right.
Trials and tribulations. That's the
What?
other harsh thing about the real world. It's like you come from this, I guess, our experience in college, this small bubble where
Mhm.
everyone thought they were awesome, and then you graduate, and into the real world, and it's tough. It's not.
They don't give a fuck.
You really. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, people. Everyone's just trying to figure it out for themselves, and you just kind of got to be okay with that and be okay not to fail. Um, so that's a tough transition, I'd say, from graduation until now. But it's cool. It's all part of the experience.
And
Trials and tribulations.
yeah, you can't be afraid of the real world bringing you down. There are going to be a lot of assholes amongst us, especially in our career, but just got to be ready for it. Know that you're your biggest fan, and you got to pull through. You got to pull through.
Yeah, no, the first 2 years out of college have been definitely a little bit weird for me, but if I haven't grown, financially in the way I want to, I'm just starting to see that growth now. But
Yep.
personally, it's been the best experience of my life for me.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. And, even though it's tough what we're dealing with now, and I just know that we keep pulling through for it. And, like at the time, right before the pandemic hit, I was interviewing for jobs and making final rounds for jobs, like really well-paying jobs, to finally move out of here and stop commuting. Well, stop the Connecticut commute. But, and I just know I still have that resume and skills, and adding this podcast most of all to continue those skills will just get me ready once the opportunity comes, and just interviewing, pounding, and grinding the way. And I'll join you in the Big Apple ASAP.
Yeah, is New York where you want to be, do you think?
Oh yeah, it was there. That was the plan of interning out of college and gaining as much experience. I finally had the experience where I can move out on my own comfortably, and then a pandemic hits. So, but
What neighborhood would you live in?
if I can choose, if I could
Yeah,
choose, I'd love to live in the Lower East Side or
Lower East
East Village
Side.
Side. Yeah, I like that nice grid and those
Really?
brick walls
I was
over there.
actually I was down in the East Village today. I walked through Tompkins Square Park. I actually
Yeah,
played
yeah, I spent a
basketball
lot of
there.
time hanging out there. Hmm?
I played basketball there like a month ago, which was probably not the best idea with COVID and everything.
Did you play like
But
with
it
legit
was
NYC Park ballers?
yeah. It was rough. They were giving me shit. I airballed my first shot. Just like they were calling me body bag the entire game. But they were giving me shit. But like, what were they not going to give me shit?
This is where
But
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got his start, man.
where in Tompkins Square Park?
I don't know, but I know he's from the city. I know he's from New York, but the Lance Stevensons, the Stephon Marbury's, those ballers, that's where it's from.
Felipe Lopez.
Felipe Lopez.
St. John's great. Yeah,
Dude,
but it was it was such a nice day, and I was riding my bike through the park, and I saw people running, and I was like, yo, like I got next.
he said, okay, man, bring it.
Yeah, and I airballed my first shot, and it all went downhill from there. But yeah, Matty B, I can't see you living in the East Village or Lower East Side.
Why not? Where do you see me at? Where do you see me at?
I think you West Village maybe.
Okay, I'll be an elite like that. I'm with that. It's so peaceful and clean over there. You know what? Fine. I'll go with Upper West Side.
No, I'm on the Upper East, Matty B.
Or do you say I'm in the Upper East Side or Upper West?
Yeah, no, I'm on the Upper East.
Yeah, but you see me in the Upper West Side.
No, you could live up here.
Okay.
We
Oh,
could,
sorry. You could see me in the Upper East Side.
yeah.
Oh, what? That's still totally fine. It's really nice over there too. I'll be fine with it.
Yeah, people think it's like a dead zone up here, but it's just like a little bit more late. The way I describe the Upper East Side, it's like the perfect spot for a day drink.
Definitely.
Like,
Yo, let me tell you. Actually, let's go into the Upper East Side for a little bit.
yeah,
So I actually spent all summer in the Upper East Side. I dated a girl all summer. It's the summer of this girl, I can say. And
summer of this girl. Was it Jesse's girl?
Jesse's girl. Her name was not Jessie. Well,
That's her favorite movie, Matt Brown.
Her favorite, what was her, you know, her favorite movie? Her favorite movie was Billy Madison. That's what she told me her
Billy
favorite movie
Madison.
was. Out of all the movies in the world, her favorite was Billy
Check
Madison.
this girl's ID.
Did I check this girl's ID?
Yeah, dude, her favorite movie. My favorite movie was Billy Madison when I was like 7.
No, I asked her once, what's your favorite movie? The Billy Madison. I'm like, that's a pick at she's the same age. She was a year younger than me. No, same age as me.
Really?
And she 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 was cool. She was great at I hope she's well wherever she's at in this world. She was a St. John's grad student.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Go to
yeah.
law school.
The med school there.
The summer of this girl. That's what you should rename this podcast
The summer of this girl, the nice cereal.
as.
Dude, yeah,
Dude,
so
it's got to be a headline grabbers.
you know, but seriously, we're gonna call this the summer of I'll just say first name started with a G. So the first summer of G, right? I went to like literally 10 Yankee games with her.
Really?
All last summer. Like that's the summer the Yankees.
Were you guys just crushing like 24-ounce Bud Heavies and chicken buckets? That sounds like an idea.
Yes, we hit the chicken buckets. We hit the Buffalo Wild Wings bucket a couple times. We sat in every section you can think of except the legend seats. We saw a lot of really cool games. I saw them play the Diamondbacks. Saw Zach Greinke pitch before he got traded to Houston. We saw them play the A's, and DJ LeMahieu hit a walk-off in that game. A comeback from high win against the Astros. And the very last time we ever hung out before we broke up, right, was Game 5 of the 2019 ALCS. That was the last time we ever hung out. I went to that playoff game with her. Very well.
Was that the Garrett Cole game?
No, it was Justin Verlander pitched. It was.
No, I was at the Garrett Cole game, and that was like the least energetic I've ever seen Yankee Stadium.
How depressing. And now he's on our side. So
yeah,
the way it worked was so we went to the game. They gave up a run in the first, and then we scored 4 right away. DJ LeMahieu hit a home run off Verlander to tie. Then Aaron Hicks hits a 3-run home run to give us the lead, and that was the ground literally shook. Like people went fucking nuts over there. I had this random dude jump on me, but it was a guy from my work, and I was free. I was like, "Who's jumping on me?" And it's my buddy Luke.
Do you have a mask on?
I mean, this was pre-COVID, so this was last October. But
isn't it crazy to think about all the stuff that like you used to do before COVID?
When I watch like movies and TV, and I was like, "Don't get too close right now," or do they know what's going on? And that was the last time we hung out.
Are you watching these days in the background?
These days, well, I have this huge list of going all over the place, these culturally significant ones. The ones at the top of my head, I watched the Blues Brothers, which was great. Have you ever seen the original Blues Brothers movie? Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi.
I need to broaden my movie horizons. I only like to watch my greatest hits. Like I don't like watching new movies. I only like watching movies that I've seen before.
So when you watch new movies, it's gonna be a big step in the right direction. I got this big ass list. You know, one thing I tried to do until the podcast in COVID, I wanted to watch the 100 greatest movies of all time by the American Film Institute, and then the 500 greatest movies from IMDb. So I got to about like 3/4 of it, and just all these culturally significant movies. I really liked I watched The Godfathers. I watched Get Out. I watched Once Upon a Time in the West.
Is the original Point Break on that list?
Oh, bro, the original Point Break. Dude, that's my fucking movie. That's a top 25 of all time. I am an FBI agent.
But is that your favorite movie?
Top 25. My favorite movie of all time is The Departed. Martin Scorsese's The Departed. You have Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Alec Baldwin, and that came out in 2006.
And Anthony Anderson.
Anthony Anderson is in that. It's on Netflix sometimes. It's definitely
Yeah, I
on.
saw that.
You like it?
Uh, no, I saw that it was on Netflix. I've obviously seen
Oh,
The Departed a number of times. Yeah, yeah, I like it. I don't think it's my I'm not like a movie savant. I don't think it's my favorite Leo
what
movie.
is your favorite, Joe?
I really like Blood Diamond, but
Blood
no,
Diamond. That's a
my
good one.
hey, what's your favorite movie?
I've
My
definitely asked that, man. What is like? Did I ever ask that to a girl in front of you as a joke? I probably did.
I don't know. I remember there were a few times when we were bartending at college parties, which were so awesome. College was sick.
College
And
was
you'd
sick.
ask, you pour a girl a cup of Keystone, a solo cup of Keystone out of the keg, and ask her what her favorite movie was, just to please me.
and then, and then she's like, well, and then she walks the other way.
No,
She
she definitely did not even entertain you.
didn't.
Um,
Who is this loser?
um, I don't know. I switched my favorite movie. It's either the original Point Break or Saving Private Ryan.
Awesome picks. Totally different movies, man, but really
Yeah,
great picks.
it depends. It depends on what kind of mood I'm
Yep.
in. Like if
Point
I
Break
need
is
some motivation going into Monday morning, I'll throw on Saving Private Ryan.
boy.
Uh,
What scene do you
Sunday.
watch to motivate you?
I mean, I just there's a lot of iconic scenes in
Tom
that
Tom
movie.
Hanks giving that speech about his wife in the fields.
Yeah,
My goal is to just get home to my wife.
exactly. The cast in that movie is great. Besides, or is all time besides Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. Dude, I mean Matt Damon killing in it. Steven Spielberg, Edward Burns, Tom
Eddie
Sizemore, Tom
Burns,
Hanks, Eddie Burns, dude. But Point
Johnny
Break,
Drama, Eddie Burns.
You know what's a war movie you want to see Johnny Drama in? Platoon.
Platoon.
He's a major
Johnny
fucking
Drama has a
cocksucker.
podcast now.
No way, does he really?
Yeah, it's the Victory podcast with Kevin Dillon and Doug Ellen and Kevin Conley.
Boy, that's what they're up to with their residual checks.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to listen to. They're just like
They're like
riffing.
talking about in college. Yo, remember that episode we shot 20 years ago?
That's literally what it is. That show has not aged well at
Oh,
all.
it's horrible, bro. That show will be that show could be canceled. Like never again. It's so bad to women. Vince is
Yeah,
such an asshole. Ari Gold, it can't exist.
yeah. Well, that guy, the actor, actually got canceled
Yeah,
for
Jeremy
being
Renner got in trouble. Oh, not Jeremy Renner. No, not Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Piven. I met Jeremy Piven,
Renner.
and I can't show that picture off anymore.
The Town is also a great movie.
Oh man,
Jeremy Renner.
yo, fuckers, dude, that part in Fenway Park, the last 20 minutes there, man.
Yeah, I'll only give him my first name. So,
But
Matty B, when you were hyping up this podcast, you're like, AKA Matty B, AKA Young Lord. I've never heard anyone call you Young Lord in
you know,
public.
you're
But
like the
my
third person to bring that up. I was just drifted to tell you the truth, just
I
coming up with
just
whatever my
like
mind.
like a like in the moment type thing. Like
Literally, man, that's literally it. And I'm like, if that wants to jump on as Young Lord, please call me Young Lord. But I haven't really call myself that in a recent pod. But
I feel like you're a little too old to be going by Young Lord.
what's up, Young Lord? It's like when you see these rappers and they're like 22, name you want to name some like I love Lil Uzi Vert, but is he gonna be named that in his 40s? It was Lil Uzi Vert or Lil or
That's the crazy thing
Trippy
about like
Red.
music now. Like I feel like there's no. I guess people will disagree with me, but I feel like there's no timeless music now, especially like in hip hop and rap, just because there's so much of it. Like no,
Especially
people
trap
come out with
music.
albums, and I guess it's our like the way our society works too. Like it's like cool for like a day, and then everyone's like, all right, what's all, what's next.
Yeah, only like certain rappers or music like are making timeless music. I hear that. Like I thought the last like real timeless album, I liked Astro World a lot, but I understand if some people don't think it's timeless. But besides that, and Kendrick Lamar's "Damn," I mean, are we going to be bumping Migos, the Culture 3 for forever? Are we going to be bumping Love
I
Is
think about that
Rage,
all. I think about that all the time.
Lil Nas X?
Like when my parents have people over, they're playing like, like Van Morrison and like
Van
the Counting
Morrison.
Crows and Coldplay and like that type. Like what what are we gonna be playing
Yo,
if we make it until like our mid 30s, 40s?
I always knew my wedding song would be, um, like, are they gonna play WAP at our wedding? Oh my god!
I refuse to listen to that song.
I just, I actually was in the city this weekend and I saw this
Oh,
person.
thanks for hitting me up.
Oh, I went to see my cousin. We were in Astoria. Would you have come? I would have invited you.
Dude, some of the boys live in Astoria.
Yeah. Who's out in Astoria? It's awesome, pop.
I think Tom, Angel, I think Bruno lives there.
Oh,
Dude,
my
I saw you did
friends.
the. They're good guys, Matty B.
Of course, they're good guys deep down.
Um, no, they're my guys. Dude, I saw you did that you did that Milk Factory review or the milkshake review.
Yeah, I did that Burgerology.
Burgerology.
It's really good at it. Was genuinely that was the most milky milkshake I've ever had, and I love it like that.
Dude, so the
Um,
MB reviews are back.
oh yeah, now that
That
especially as I'm
COVID
looking for more places,
COVID,
I'm
dude,
getting
COVID
that.
is COVID over? I feel like we
Depending on who
still
you ask. I mean, Pfizer has the vaccine 2 days after Biden wins the election, so I guess so.
yeah, yeah. What apparently what the last I heard about a COVID vaccine, they said like the military was just gonna be like throwing it, like just like throwing it in my apartment window.
They're
That's what
just
it
like, yo,
sounded
here you
like.
go, guys.
Yeah,
Boy, that sounds like an. Is it gonna be that easy, huh?
dude, I hope so.
Yeah, like I think yeah, they announced that looks like Pfizer's going to have one that could be ready for the American public in March, which would be incredible. Like my goal, I hope, is to have everything back by the summer. Is that a fair thing? Even if we still have to at least wear masks, I don't know, but it'd be cool to have
But
the summer.
my whenever like I have this conversation with someone, whenever they ask me, whenever it like comes up, I say this time next year, and I've been saying that since March.
You're quite accurate, at least that one. But that's what I hope. At least I hope at least my hope is just the summer that we can have a nice summer again, more open with that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like people still did like got out and did stuff this summer.
Of
Um,
course, but I'm more comfortable and not feel like at risk or guilty. Like I went to this Halloween party in Jersey City, right? And at the
yeah,
whole time, like it bounced up, and it's just, damn, this is not the place to be. And I put my mask and put myself in the corner. Stay away from me, people.
you were that guy.
For this particular instance, yes. Still interact to say hello to what's up with other people, but they said it was going to be a small gathering, and then more people show up, and more people show up, and it's like, fuck,
It
you
was
played
just a
me.
total rando party.
Pretty well rando to me, but I don't know if the others. Yeah, that was just
That
like, damn,
yeah.
lesson
I mean,
learned.
it's tough. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's uh, you just kind of have to have a positive mindset. What I
Right.
have kind of taken from all of this, but it's all good, man. It
Just
is
have
all
that
good.
mask and live it up. Live it up, man. Live it up.
Yeah, dude, you gotta. I switched up my mask game because now that's yeah, like you gotta be, conscious of your mask because that's the first thing people see now. Like
Yeah.
the Amazon mask, like the traditional mask, that's out now. Like I got the full sleeve.
You need a now it has to match your fashion for it.
Yeah, it almost does. Like I feel like if your mask isn't matching like your outfit, like what are you doing? You know?
Funny you say
Oh,
that.
and
So
that was the other thing about getting back to the city. Like normally when you leave your apartment, it's like phone, keys, wallet. Now it's phone, keys, wallet, and mask. And I think
that's
for the first month I was back in the city, I'd always leave my apartment without my mask and be like, fuck, like gotta go. And Purell, dude, can't
that's my
never
song.
forget Purell.
I see you say phone, wallet, keys, charger, mask. Top 5 that I cannot leave out, dude. But
Yeah, it's nuts.
yeah, man. Hopefully we could all, hang out again too. At least you and me, JDR. We'll see if your Astoria buddies, our fraternity brothers, if they would love to hang out with me, of course, because
Hey man, after this is all over, everyone should kind of warm up to each other. Life's too short to not hang out with people.
Of course, like in all seriousness, with I'm closer to some Theta Chi, our brothers more than others, and of course, some we've had our differences with other brothers, but at the end of the day, you could
Yeah,
all have a
dude. Yeah,
genuine
remember
sit down.
when you and Brad tried to cancel me because I wasn't gonna go to your graduation party because I wanted to go to
What?
a Lupe Fiasco. Yeah, I wanted to go to a Lupe Fiasco concert on my birthday, which was the same day as your graduation party.
That
And
I
then
didn't know about this. Did JD Brad really do that?
yeah, Brad, yeah, you and Brad, dude, you were not innocent in
Wait,
that.
wait.
Brad's like,
I got mad at you for almost going to a party.
yeah, for Lupe Fiasco. I wanted to go to a Lupe Fiasco concert, which was on the same day as your graduation party, which is also my birthday. And you and Brad were like, "Oh, dude, it says a lot about you. Like, if you like do this." So
Well,
you guys almost camped me, but here we are.
if that did happen, I apologize at that time. A lot has changed since then. I mean, I would love to have you, and you did come, and I hope you had a lot of fun. It was an insane party, and
Yeah, it was fun.
I appreciate it. We could go. Lupe Fiasco's on me next time, guarantee it.
Yeah, I feel like I don't need to go to a Lupe Fiasco concert
Not in the
anymore.
2020s.
What?
Not in the 2020s.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a big concert guy. Like I just don't like the. I don't know. I just don't like the. I don't like the crowded space.
Hmm.
Like I like to. Like I don't want to be in the pit. You know. Like I want to have a seat. I want to be able to like move and get a beer.
Right.
Like I'll see music like at a bar.
Hmm.
Did they used to have bands at Hawk's Nest?
Yeah, way back when they would have local bands or the guys trying to make it, but
Dude, I heard they had like the band 9 Days there.
I was there for my U Heart visit. They were there. I was actually at that concert at Hawks Nest.
I feel like everyone was there besides me, so I feel like it didn't happen. If
Do you
everyone
think,
else
with
was
all
there
due respect
besides
to
me.
9 Days, they're like, yo, we used to play at MTV TRL. Now we're playing at a University of Hartford's dining hall.
I mean, that's what happens, right?
The music game's a tough one.
I'd rather have one hit than none.
Definitely. Absolutely, man. Dude,
Like
but
you
what
listen to one of these
who else have you been keeping in touch with in the Theta Chi crew? And lastly, when we talked about your Astoria boys, you think they would be happy to hang out with me and everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
Even we have one of them creepily stalking my Instagram profile. I always see him every day when I post a pic, and we don't follow each other. I see this person looking at my story like somebody stalking their ex, but I guess I'm just very interesting to them, and I would love to talk with them. It's like, hey man, how you been?
Get them on the podcast. Squash the beef.
If we could get this person on the podcast, me and him, after all we've been through, boy, that would be a lot of fun to do. I would love to have him on.
Dude, the, the past is the past, man. People just,
Exactly.
you know, get over it. That's what I've learned, at least. Just
Of course, I don't have
I don't keep
legitimate
no.
beef with anybody from you Hart at all. So
Yeah, except for Fitzjimmy's.
Fitzjimmy's, that's the fourth time she's been brought up. I don't have any beef with Fitzjimmy's.
Yeah, I feel like you.
For Fitzjimmy's, you know what Fitzjimmy's I heard once said. Oh my god, do I even keep going? I don't care if she feels this way at the time. Someone told me that Fitzjimmy's once said that Matt Brown is a perfect example of nice guys who finish last. She actually said that apparently.
Hey, I mean, that's all right.
Yeah,
I get that title too sometimes.
that's not true though. That's why I prefer don't be a nice guy, be a great guy. But yeah, I mean, if she's entitled to her opinion, if she still feels that way, of course, that was a few years ago too. So, I don't know if you know Mark Maron's podcast, but he used to like use the podcast to like fix relationships with people, like the first 100
Really,
episodes like that. And
is that what you're trying to do on this podcast?
I don't really have anyone to like fix beef with to have that to be on the show
Really?
like that. I'm willing to. I'd rather just talk to them without the microphones and cameras, and then we can talk after. If I were
Yeah, man.
to do that. But who have you been keeping in touch with you Hart still?
Um, I mean, there's a few guys in the city.
Mhm.
John Jacomi, Bruno, Dave Dorado. Uh, Griff was in the city, but I think he moved out. Um, and then I obviously keep in touch with like Brad, who's in LA, and then Vinny and Matt DiMatteo
Mhm.
are like my guys. Those are probably my best friends from Hartford, or who I keep in touch with the most.
Including me, JDR.
Yeah. Well, Matt Brown, me and you don't talk that often.
But
Like
it's like
the
when
last
we
time
talk, it's
I
a
think
great.
the last time I saw you was like I think it was like at Penn Station last year when I went to go
Yeah, that's
to
right.
yeah, because you guys were going to a party that I wasn't invited to.
What was that? Well, we were doing some. We did
We were
something.
going to Kavanagh's. No, but look, there's people that I keep in touch with more than others, but I feel like um, me and you, Matt, like we have that type of established friendship where we can go with however long without speaking to each other and pick back up right where we left
Exactly.
off. And those are the friendships I strive for.
Exactly.
Like
That's what how I look at it too, and how sweet and I appreciate it. Yeah, we may not talk every single day, but once we do, we're vibing really hard and stuff. You know.
yeah, no, that's like what it's like with a lot of my friends from home. Like we don't speak to each other. Some of us speak to each other more, every day or whatnot. But when we all get together, it's like pick back right where we left off.
And that's what matters the most. And your friendship, I genuinely appreciate a lot
Yeah, and
from it.
I appreciate that you're bringing back virtual drinking. Remember
Nothing
when
but
that was a
man.
thing? Remember when that was a thing? Like the first couple weeks of quarantine. That was actually really depressing.
Yeah, well, we would have all those zooms like normal and come together, and now we're
I
back. Virtual happy
Yeah, no,
hours
I got way too drunk a few times during those, and like
for
it was just
work.
not. No, not work, for just like my buddy's birthday or something. Um, and like I just get way too drunk and be like in my parents' basement. I'm like, wow, this is miserable.
Now we rekindle with that and come back, and everyone you mentioned, tell them all I said hi and wish good well. I mean, I know I was joking around, sarcastic, but at the end of the day, I hope things work out for them, and we'll see if we all
Yeah,
see each other
no,
again.
yeah, you gotta wish the best for everyone, because karma comes back around, Maddie B. And I'm starting to learn that
Absolutely.
too. I gotta stop talking shit about people, because like that shit could come back on me.
Yeah, you
But
never
it's all
know.
good. It's all part of the maturing process.
Right. Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. Why don't we if you don't mind me asking, we were talking about this before. I'm just curious. So we're talking about dating in New York City, and I told you that
Yeah.
when I was there, I used the Hinge. I use the Hinge
And
Premium, and then the others fine. And
with the summer of this girl,
that she was somebody I met on Hinge. You know where our first date was?
did she call you young lord?
We're young, wild, and free, right?
Yeah, yeah, but see, that's the other thing. Like, you come from college and like you go out and you think like I always thought like, yo, I'm the fucking man. Like, I'm tall, I'm handsome, and I go out in the city and everyone's like 6'2", like all the girls included are like everyone's
Yeah.
like 6 foot and above, and I'm like right at the like 5'11", 6 foot
So
cutoff.
you're sad. You're sad.
Nah, I don't, dude. Not in New York. In Hartford, yes. Not in New York.
Dude, can you tell me
I'm still waiting for my last growth spurt though.
yeah, I wonder when that hits for me. But I'm a taller guy, and
Yeah, but dating in New York it's hilarious.
that's a great word. It's hilarious to date in New York. Dude, tell it's hilarious. Um
Well, with the whole outdoor dining thing, you can't make reservations.
mhm.
So like you could like go to a, like you say, meet up at a place, and then it's like a 45-minute wait. So you always got to have backup options.
Oh yeah, you're definitely playing it out. Like here, you know what's a great this is you know
Oh,
what's an awesome
picking your date out with when everyone has their masks on.
hey, and that's the first time you guys are meeting. You have that first meet a girl on a dating app hug. Hey,
Yeah.
nice to meet you. This is what I look like. I hope you're
Yeah.
happy or not
Um,
disappointed.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's only two ways to feel about that, but yeah, it's hilarious.
Dude,
And
what are some
also like, well, here's my like thing with dating in New York. Like, like I pick up the check all the time, and like half the
oh
time I'm never gonna see these girls ever again. So like, it's
yeah.
just a waste of money. Like I wish I had the financials to just like go out there and do that all the time.
It,
But
that's
I
the
think a lot of people our age have the same mindset where like people are just doing it to do it,
right.
especially with quarantine.
That's what when I think of when it comes to like paying and stuff. I don't know. I don't want to say it's a strategy, but like put the check down and we'll see if whatever somebody says, you say, hey, can I take
You
this?
got to pick up the check.
Or they say, hey, you want to split it? Because some people are like, no, we're splitting this, or stuff like
Really?
that.
Well,
A
I
couple.
guess with like the whole culture now, I guess you could get canceled for picking up a check, right?
I don't know that's the truth. I don't know, and I tried to do more like dates where you're on like walks around the park instead, first dates, but then I realized it's hard
Oh,
to.
Maddie, young lord,
No,
that's
I learned my
stupid.
lesson for that because it's hard to get to know somebody while we're walking and talking. So I don't do that no more. But
Well, most people can walk and talk at the same time.
yeah, but it's like to actually get to know someone and feel them, unless you like
Yeah, that's like date number two,
date them or two.
maybe.
It's just like it's that what I call God's gravitational pull to someone that it just works or not. Like for instance, like I I used to a cult like I've done first dates at the High Line.
Oh yeah, that's a cool spot. I have a buddy that lives over there.
Wow, your buddy's rich as fuck. Then damn.
Well, his parents live over there. But go on with your story.
And I would just go on the High Line and walk. I've done it like 3 times, and
Yeah,
uh
I, I
and
feel like
it
that's a
worked, but
good.
it like 2 out of 3 times they turned into cool little things out of it, and I don't know. I don't really like I said. I'd rather just. I like to. I don't like to buy a whole dinner as a first date. I just like to do a coffee or a milkshake to see if I have a better
A
chance if I have the
milkshake.
second
What
date.
are we in fourth grade?
Yeah,
I
because
don't
like
want to. Actually, that's a good idea. The next date I go on is gonna be a milkshake date.
Because the only thing is, if I am gonna take most of the time, like you're right, I take the check, and you don't want to get ripped off. You just don't. You just don't like. It amazes me how I've heard people literally will go on these dates to get a free meal. I'll never just hurt
Yeah,
my.
well, I don't go on dinner dates just because I feel like that's the little like
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
I
I'm
wait
not
for
mature enough yet.
no, I wait for like the second or third date to go on a dinner date. I prefer like a milkshake or a drink or coffee.
Can you even go on 3 dates with COVID?
I don't even know. That's the thing. I am more picky with that. I don't really date multiple girls
Well,
at once anymore
let's stop.
because of that.
Let's stop pretending that me and you can get a third date. So let's just chalk it up to COVID.
Thanks, COVID. Oh man.
Oh man.
That
But
you're
yeah,
right. It is such a. It feels like not an accomplishment, but it just feels like wow. I'm on the second date. Like this might actually be something. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. It's all you just gotta really. I feel like with the whole like app thing, you just really gotta commit to it.
Yeah, and not
Like
take
you're
it too
not
seriously at the same time as well.
right, but like you gotta be. You can't like I don't know if you actually want to go like out on dates, you just like really gotta like be like all over the apps.
Yeah, that's why you get
Like,
the
'cause
premium.
I spend my money on other dumb shit like natural resources.
Yes, yes, that's my way too. And I don't really like. I don't like go on a lot of dates like I used to anymore, and I'm just more picky because I don't want to get burned or just feel like a dumbass that seemed like no one that it didn't work out or whatever. And it's like I guess so. I just am more like picky and more patient for someone I want to actually take the time to go out with, and then you date certain people that teach you a lot of things at the same time too. So if that make if
Yeah,
get my gist of saying that, and
yeah. Getting burns part of the process though.
oh, absolutely. And you just want to prevent it. Like sometimes getting burned is inevitable, but
Do you get ghosted, Maddie B?
do I get ghosted? Yeah, there are
Like you
times.
said,
Can you
like you
believe that?
ghosted me.
Hmm?
Like you ghosted me. You said, "Hey man, like I'm having a podcast. Like you should totally hop on." Then I don't hear from you from a month.
Bro, it was
Like
more like 3
Kev-
weeks, but
Kevin Schaefer and Eric Sequeria. Like I
but
forgot these guys even existed.
well, Eric's hasn't dropped yet, and then Kevin I had to do because his was timely for the election, but
Yeah,
um
I guess I get that.
that's the only reason why with those, but like I said, yours is a priority. This is great. This is once I have you, Gabe Mills, and then Sam, and then I'm all set. And whoever I
Did
mean,
when did
those are the
Sam
three.
do it?
Nah, I haven't got Sam to do it yet. He's agreed to do it. I just have to book him, and
Really?
it's just fitting all podcasts in. And I just love, I just really want to get those three, and then meet some awesome guests along the way. But as long as I mean, you already won, so I need those two other ones, Gabe and Sam, and they both said they would do it. So it's
So
just a
are you
matter
just
of
like working on this all day, like editing shit all day, and then doing interviews
yeah,
every day?
I'm pretty much getting. That's what's my job at this point.
Well, like, does it take up the entire day?
It can, yeah. Especially with editing video, but I just love doing it, and I just know I have so many great people to show off with this broadcast and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And like I said offline, regardless of what they say about you, Maddie B, you got to respect the fact that you're actually doing something that you want to do, which is something that a lot of people our age can't say. So, like I said, a lot of respect for you because you're not doing it for, you don't have the following yet, but just got to, like I said, take it one day at a time and hopefully get there.
Oh yeah, like when I knew I can do this when I'm fine listening to myself, my own voice, and I'll listen to my own podcast as I listen to the other podcasts, like the Conan Simmons, Rogan's, Martin's, Howard Stern, and I'm fine with that. And it's just a great way to have this for the rest of my life. Really, honestly, I plan on doing this forever, wherever it goes. Whether I become Joe Rogan, or I just or I'm just at this level and just
Become
entertaining my
young lord.
friends. Hmm?
Become young lord.
The young Lord comment. A lot of people really remember that for some reason. I was. just riffing, but
It's a lot of people's probably like me and two other
no, it's more like three other people, but still enough to remember, and at least three other people who are willing to let me know about it. I'm sure there's plenty where I've said it, and um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
told a few people that I was going to be on tonight, and they were super excited to check me in to see how it goes.
I'm excited to show you off, man. I mean, we've been having fun. You're just hella great to talk to. Simple as that.
Hell yeah, man. Who else you have lined up on the podcast?
At this moment, I have Dan Berger's coming on to perform one of his songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he really is. He's coming on Wednesday. Tomorrow with my friend Abby. I have I still have my buddy Alex Young. I recorded and put
Oh,
on. Eric's still.
Is Abby the girl that's in the fantasy football league and not me?
No,
That's the
no,
other
no.
thing. You found 9 other people to be in a fantasy league besides
I
me.
asked you. What are you talking? I asked you on Snap. You didn't respond. What was I gonna do?
Dude, I deleted Snapchat off my phone, so that's why I didn't respond.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like that. It's like, oh, what did I do?
No, I just couldn't handle Snapchat over quarantine.
Yeah, well, I should have
I
sent the
also
other text when I didn't hear you either, so I'm sorry about that.
no worries. I deleted Snapchat off. I also deleted my Twitter account too.
Enjoyed it.
I'm not on Twitter. Dude,
I
because
don't.
I got in a dark hole like the beginning of quarantine and
Damn.
was just looking back at like old like Facebook and Twitter things, and I was like, dude, you got to forgive yourself because we were just exposed to the social media way too young.
Yeah, I mean, figuring it out how like the impact from it and shit like that.
Right. And at least I feel like we had like some sort of childhood before phones and like
Yeah, definitely.
so like I'm thankful for that. But like my younger brothers like generation, like those kids are
They
still
live
all
with
over.
it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got my
like
first phone in sixth grade.
yeah, I got yeah, and that was like normal. I got my first phone I think in 6th grade, and it was like a flip phone.
Yeah, and I had my innocence going through, like VHSs, telling people like meeting up on bikes, and I would just go to their house and knock on their doors, like, "Hey, is Connor here?" or whatever, and we would just ride our bikes and hoop and stuff.
Is Connor gonna be on the podcast?
It's Connor. He did agree to. My friend Connor from Connor Mulford from home. He did agree to come on.
Oh, really?
I haven't. I've been fortunate enough with the guests willing to come on too, and it's just being fitting all people. My days, Monday and Thursdays when I drop, but for the next few weeks, you'll see extra episodes because I just have so much content to show. So I had Julia Borges come on. She came on today on the 10th, and that's been well received so far. Ryan Bagdickian's going to be a big one to like if you know
Yeah,
him.
he's at ESPN, right?
Yep. So he's doing his thing there, and yeah, it's just finding more. I would love any of the three people you met. I mean, if me and Dorado had a podcast, that'd be something else.
Yeah, he's a great dude. But so that was the other thing. I was listening to your interview with Brad, and you're like, yeah, like I wish JDR would stop selling real estate and do something in comedy. Like just because
Yeah.
like people think I'm funny, like there's not like I'm just like that's just how I am. Like I can't. Hey, here, I'll give you write me in a script, and then I'll see if I can act.
I could do that for you. Yeah, like listen, whatever your career aspirations, I support wholeheartedly. I'm just saying, if you were to pursue a comedy career, you have my undeniable support with that.
I'm too handsome to be a stand-up comic, and there's no way I could ever do that.
Like, I mean, I guess, but Andrew said Tito's a handsome man, and he's a good stand-up. If you know who that is.
Yeah, but I think John Hamm tried to do. Hold on.
John Mulaney's a
John,
handsome dude, and everyone loves him, and he's a stand-up.
I think John Hamm originally started out in comedy, and they're like, no,
You're too hot. You
yeah,
can't take a physically fit man think he's funny.
yeah, exactly. So then he just became depressed and did Mad Men.
Boy. Yeah, I'm. Oh man, there was this old comic.
Did that make Matt Brown's top 10 favorite shows?
Mad Men, I think it did. I think so. I did that
What about
official list. Hmm?
what about Entourage?
Entourage. Let me see. You mind me if I pull it up on the Instagram real quick?
Yeah, no problem.
My So yes, very bored in quarantine. I gave my top 10 favorite shows. Which I was surprised how many likes I got for that.
Was that like deep quarantine? Is that like April?
It was more June, so like when we were starting to the end. But the way I did my order, as of June 15th, 2020, my favorite shows, yes, number 10 is Entourage. Number 9 is Crashing. Number 8 is The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Number 7 is Mad Men. 6 is SNL. 5 is Atlanta. Number 4 is Better Call Saul. Number 3 is Breaking Bad. Number 2 is Curb Your Enthusiasm. And number 1 is The Sopranos.
I'm actually rewatching Curb Your Enthusiasm right
Isn't it
now.
incredible?
It's insane. Some of the stuff that like the early, I guess that show. When did it stop before it resumed?
So it went from 2000 to 2011. Then they took a 7-year break. Came back in 2017 and then just did one in 2020.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm on like season 7, I think, right
The
now.
Seinfeld season.
Yeah, the whole body shaming thing.
What was it? She had the midriff. And he
Yeah,
was saying,
the midriff.
yeah.
He's that show's kind of hard to watch. I mean, it's incredible. It's so smart and savvy. It's just so hard. Like sometimes it's just hard to watch him.
But on a cringe level, yeah, like, oh my God, there's some just gross, not gross, but like, it's just like awkward as it can be.
Yeah, but that's a good list. I can't believe you threw Entourage in there.
Entourage, listen, Entourage, if we're looking at a critical standpoint, is pretty shitty show. It's stupid. It's unrealistic. The characters are annoying. There's no one to root for, but it's just such a comfort watch that I can like just chill out and enjoy. Like as
Yeah,
much as I like to analyze stuff, I don't take it as extremely seriously as others.
yeah, no, that's like a back. That's almost like The Office, where you just like
Yep.
throw it on, like in the background.
Like
Like
the
you
o-
don't really need to pay attention to it.
the only actual good characters is Ari Gold, but of course he's good for being a horrible person. Johnny Drama is actually pretty great on the show. I
Yeah, no,
would
yeah,
argue that.
he was good, and so was he's actually a really good actor. The guy who plays Billy Walsh.
Billy. Yeah, yeah. What's his Reese something? He's
Yeah,
really good in it too. Like there's directors who literally act like that, so they hit that well.
yeah. No, that's a pretty and Mad Men. It was a great. The first season is memorable.
Yep. I
Like
mean, it is. It's a hard. You have to like love acting and dialogue to get into that and nostalgia.
yeah. I did you watch the Social Dilemma?
I did. I did happen to see it. What's his name's in it?
Yeah,
Pete Campbell's in it.
Pete.
Out of
I
all
was
the
like,
people,
was that Pete Campbell?
yo, here's my Pete Campbell impression. This may be good or bad. He's just like Don. That's all it is.
That's it.
You ever
It
look
was
at
a pretty big.
Do you ever look at Mad Men and like, you see obviously they shoot the show in LA, but like, this is what my city looks like in the 60s. Could you imagine like what your neighborhood looked like in the 60s and stuff?
Dude, it honestly kind of seemed pretty lit. The clothes were awesome. There was
Yeah.
like no phones. They were wasted the entire time.
Can you imagine going to work, like getting fucked up at work, like on the reg?
Yeah, no, there's no shot.
Are you
I mean, I don't. I've heard from people that work in that industry that it's still kind of like that. I can't imagine. It's
the advertising agency?
yeah.
Dude, I used to work at one of my casting companies worked over. We worked at a We Workplace. You know that? And I know
Mm.
they've had a lot of controversy to them, but they would have free beer. And I would go like probably during the last hour. If I finished stuff on time, I would just drink the drafts over there. I'm just like, man, you can't really focus if you drink too much of this stuff. That's why I have
Yeah,
to learn to stay
like
away.
used to have a tap in the office, or I think the tap's still there, but obviously no one's in the office.
Mhm.
So that sucks.
Do you ever, for
But
real estate, obviously you have to dress up for showings and stuff, especially if you're selling these nice apartments in the city. Do you
right.
ever feel badass about it? It's like, yeah, man, I am Don Draper in this, but I'm a genuine person instead.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the attitude you have to have, right?
Hmm.
Like, because if you don't have confidence in yourself, no one else is. Um, and you just got to portray that while also being 70% of it is just being a genuine person. Like it's not rocket science. People just want someone they can trust.
What is
And
like your number one vice to be a real estate agent like that? Would it be that just be a genuine person, stuff like that?
well, you gotta be committed to working really, really hard, really shitty hours, and not making a lot of money your first couple of years in the industry. People get into real estate because they think it's instant. You know, they see reality TV shows and think that it's
Million dollar
what
listing.
yeah, like $1 million listing, and that's far from what it's like for people our age in the industry. And you just got to accept that and embrace it and just and go for it, man. um, and you can't be afraid. You got to be open to making mistakes, and you can't be afraid of failure. So like I was saying earlier, it's starting. I'm already starting to see the growth from year one to year two financially. But personally, it's been an amazing experience for me. um, so I'm just kind of looking to build from that.
And what else can you add on to make that an amazing experience besides, the experience you're getting? And
Just because you're literally like I am my own business.
Mhm.
I get out what I've put in, and it's a lot of you're working for that one yes, and it's a million. People tell me to fuck off all the
Yeah,
time, and I'm okay with that now. Just because it's reality. It's just what's going to happen. Some things are going to work out, some things aren't. And you just got to keep your head down, and work, and just let stuff roll off your back, and not take anything too personally, and not, um, you know, get overwhelmed, and just kind of realize that, if you put in the time, and if you make enough mistakes, you learn from them, and just you figure it out. And that's what I think a lot of people our age can relate to that.
absolutely. I think the best advice is being your own fan and not be okay with the rejection and also be okay with the timing of it and being patient, especially learning that with my industry
Right.
as well. And yeah, like I've got rejected a lot from applying for jobs and especially ones I qualify for is just so frustrating. So, I mean, one of the reasons why I made this podcast was because the job market is so slow, but I know I have so much value. And like you said, I am young and I'm only getting older each day. I just figured to make a medium like this to help enhance my skills and prove myself. So I totally hear where you're coming from with that and just being your own fan. And I just know you're going far with this, Joe. I really, really do. You got my support the whole way.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, Maddie B, and thanks for having me on. And also, yeah, and one thing I would like to add, you got to be receptive to constructive criticism,
Yep.
which always is the easiest thing, because everyone it's weird. Everyone goes about doing their business separately, and you just kind of you got adapt or die, right?
Yes.
You
It
gotta
shows how much you
either
want it too. And especially in a city, especially if you decide to live in the city, you most of the time people are there because they really want to be there and really want to strive in their industry for New York City. And I totally see why you're so far pulling it off. And I just can't wait to see where it's going from here for you.
and I appreciate Maddie B, and hopefully we can get together and hang out. Maybe I'll be present for an MB review.
You don't know how much that would be a pleasure to me. Yo, let me ask you, Joe, though, what does it feel like after you've had your clients, you've shown these people their future home, and they agree to buy the home? They qualify, they pass their credit reports and whatever. And what does it feel during that final closing? They sign, here it is, and you hand them the keys to their new home. How does that feel?
Well, it's almost a relief, because it's
Mhm.
just such a process, especially buying in New York. It's a city where there's 70% co-op buildings, which means you have to go through a whole board package interview, which, to sum it up quickly, you have to turn over everything in your life, like all financials, letters of recommendation. So it's a relief, and it's just there's nothing more satisfying than helping. In my case, I love to help people, so there's nothing more satisfying than you know giving people their keys and just seeing um, you know the genuine happiness in them, and knowing that I did a good job for them, um, and just getting paid for being a good person and being reliable. So it's a huge relief, and it's a very rewarding job, both financially and personally, just because you're literally helping people relocate all the time, and it's just an extra stress that you take off them. So it's a very rewarding feeling, I would say.
How inspiring, man. And may I ask one last thing? So if we're talking like if you don't like my process, like for someone like me, um, like if when it's my time to finally get ready to relocate for good, as I was just about to, and then we know what happened with the pandemic and just restarted and find that job. So can you explain like the process if you were like me, a single guy living at home, he's ready to move out at say 27, hopefully sooner than that, right? I have my
Right.
I'm gonna need my right. I'll need my credit score, my financials, and I'm ready to go. Like you're my agent. Like what's my advice for me ready to relocate for good for my next home? What would process as someone like me, which could be very soon in the future or whomever, like I reach out to you. I'm interested in finding a home that I can afford. What exactly happens pretty much?
Well, realistically, someone in your situation, most people in our age rate are renting in the
Yep.
city. And what most landlords want to see is that you make 40 times the rent.
40
If your
times the
rent,
rent.
yeah. So if your rent is, hold on, let me do quick math. If your rent is, let's say, 1900 times 40, the landlord's going to want you to make at least $76,000
Mhm.
by yourself, and you'll be able to qualify that way. And if that's not the case, you'll need a guarantor, which is usually your parents, or in some people's cases their grandparents.
Mhm.
That's probably like the main thing you got to be aware of, is the financial situation. And then once you find the apartment for you, you don't want to lose out on an apartment because you don't have your paperwork ready. Um, and for renting, what you need basically is letter of employment, last year's tax returns, first two pages, last two pay stubs, and bank statements. So it's a pretty straightforward process. Um, Landlords just want to see tenants make more than 40 times the rent. And then, once you find the apartment for you, submit the application. It usually takes landlords around 24, 48 hours to, get a response back for you if you're approved. Um, what's going to be due at lease signing is first month's rent and security deposit and broker fee, if there is any. But that's something we could talk about more if you become a client of mine, Matty B.
How exciting for that. And wow, thanks. Pretty straightforward. I know a lot of people, so many aspirations for that. And thanks for making it. It's not as complicated as other people seem to make it, right?
Yeah, no, it's not, it's really not, like, especially renting in New York. It's people make it out. I mean, it's look, it's a huge life decision. You're relocating from home for the first time, especially most of my clients. But in reality, it can take up to 1 or 2 days of showing to find the apartment, and then you just got to have some basic paperwork ready to go, and then you'll be on your way. And then
Yeah.
once you figure out the process, you'll be fine.
So you feel one thing also is just to have that paperwork ready, even on the days that you're looking and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you probably want to have that ready to go before um, you look for places, just because you know I've seen it happen time and time again. People find the apartment, the one is what we call it, and then they lose out on it just because they don't have their paperwork ready to go. Um, so it's a pretty straightforward process, and you get to meet a lot of interesting people, and when you're dealing with New York City, especially rental agents.
How about that? And like,
Um,
what could a client do to make your life easier as a whole for all real estate? What would like an agent really want to see their client do to make their process easier in your process?
Um, I mean, that's tough to say because every client's different. At this point, I've seen it all, so I don't think people. It's a different process for everyone, right?
Yep.
Like, some people are very nonchalant and kind of know what they're looking for. So you just gotta, it's more on me to play it by ear and react to what my clients want more than them adapting to me. And that's just the reality of my business.
I hear that. And my last real estate related question is: we are in the middle of pandemic, and we've seen, first of all, is it true that rents are going down and prices,
Yeah,
or is that
rents.
is
Yeah,
it
the
that is a
rent.
legitimate thing, or is media trying to say that?
Yeah, no, the rental market. In my opinion, the rental market is it's a renter's market. It's as soft as it's been. And in my mind, I think it's just going to bottom out over the next 6 months,
Interesting.
um, because people aren't going to move back to New York City unless they're in the office, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, most of my clients that I'm working with right now are either lawyers or work at JP Morgan. Like
Okay.
those, like those are the people that
They're
are are,
breadwinners, huh?
are back in the city because they need to be back in the
Yep.
city. Um, but yeah, the rents. And it was funny because when this first started, landlords like weren't willing to play ball at all, like not willing to negotiate. And now, landlords almost have to consider every offer that's brought to the table.
Especially in
Um,
this time.
yeah, now on the sales front, the market's kind of buzzing between 800K, anywhere under 3.5 million. The market is buzzing just because there's not a better time to buy than right
Mhm.
now with everything that's going on, and interest rates are super low. And people have the belief that Manhattan is going to come back, because it is. It's just going to take some time. So they're realizing, like, hey, like, if I'm not going to get a better deal than now, so people are
Yep.
just taking advantage of that opportunity.
All right, all right. And like, can I say, like, as amongst this pandemic and people adjusting, say somebody who's been unemployed for most of 2020, and like they're just fortunate enough to find the right opportunity to get back in the workforce, pick up their career, and a a they have a salary that is 40 times the rent. Now, saying this despite you mentioned like tax returns, and the tax returns, especially 2020, are probably going to not look so hot. Do you think that makes a difference if you're trying to rent or buy in 2021, or is it just circumstantial? It seems like you said everyone's
Yeah,
different.
I mean, all landlords are different. Like, some landlords will accept people just based off a letter of employment that says, hey, like, this so and so starting here on this date and will be making an annual salary of whatever.
Yep.
Um, and then usually the other paperwork that follows is just like a formality, just stuff
Mhm.
that needs to be there. Like, tax returns, I'd say, are more important for the sales side,
Yep.
um, just because. it's a more complex process, and um, you know, sellers want potential buyers to be more qualified
Hmm.
on that front. So it's just a little bit different.
How about that? Wow, man, we really got a nice real estate lesson for this. We
Yeah,
appreciate.
I'm
Um,
here to help any way I can.
I love it. Yo, JJ, let's make it a little more fun, right? Um, dude, can you tell me?
You're telling me we're not having fun on this podcast?
No, no, of course. I'm saying, real estate advice is great and awesome. I just want to,
Yeah,
put
but
even.
it's a real snooze fest. I got to crack open another beer. By the way, this is my third beer, and everyone knows usually after two and a half, I'm in the bathroom every like 2 minutes. So bear with me here.
No worries, man. That's what's great about my podcasting services. We could go unlimited, but yeah, like no, it was definitely interesting, and especially for me, I'm just like, why don't we switch it up to some crazy stuff too?
Hmm.
Yo,
Let's
JDR,
get
tell me tell me your favorite time you've ever tell me a time where you didn't think you could do something socially, then you took a leap of faith and you did it.
where I didn't think I could do something socially, and I made a leap of faith.
Like for instance, I've heard somebody's talking to me about being on karaoke. Somebody saw Spike Lee and took the opportunity to just say what's up to him, like something like that. Maybe you shot your shot in one way or the other, but you don't have to get into too details with that because who knows with that. But I'm just saying something like that where you took a leap of faith and it worked out.
Wow, that's a great question, Maddie B. Um, I would say like um, just going up and like sitting like when you could go into coffee shops. I actually was sitting across from this guy. We were both like locked into our computers,
Mhm.
um, and we struck up a conversation. And he's from Croatia, and he went to Purdue, and I was like, oh, Purdue, like Boilermakers, Drew
Mhm.
Brees,
Drew Brees,
and
Brad
we
Stevens.
made like an instant connection. Um, and he's actually become a client of mine since then, and that was just because of me, going out of my shell, um, just willing to make conversation with someone, and like what I referred to earlier, this industry has helped me grow so much personally, where I just have to do stuff like that and come out of my shell, and I made a great friend who also turned into a client. So it's just and I could not picture myself doing something like that, like 4 or 5 years ago. So just kind of, I can't think of one, you know, great example socially,
That's a
but just
great
kind of,
example. That's a really great example. You did exactly what I
just kind
asked.
of going, just at that, and then also never rejecting an invitation to go somewhere, regardless of who you may or may not know,
I like that.
because that's also like, oh, I don't know anyone there, so like what like everyone's in the same boat for the most part.
They say that strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. So
Yeah,
really believe
yeah,
that.
people. I see. I know someone that has that in their Instagram bio, and it's like the most territorial person I've ever met in my life.
Is this someone I know? Would know or
No,
no?
no, 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 no.
That would have been
It's
funny.
no, like some local surf bro.
How is that? Were you able to go out to Montauk this summer?
Yeah, yeah. So I was when quarantine first started, we were back home in New Jersey for like the first 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and then we are just like fuck it and went out to Montauk, and that's where I say I was um, as much as the whole thing has sucked. I was very lucky to be out in Montauk with my family and be
Yep.
able to surf and play golf and go for runs. Um, it was just a great like mental escape from everything that was going on. So I spent a lot of time out there from like March until I went back to work at the end of June.
Sweet.
And then I try to sneak out there every now and then if there's a hurricane swell in the forecast. And the weather and the weather's been super warm, so I don't have to, wear a full wetsuit with boots and gloves yet. So that's also nice. But
Is that one reason why too Point Break has a special place in your heart? It's one of the few real good surfer movies.
I is it a good movie though? I feel like
Is
it's either you're all in or like you think it's like the worst movie ever.
I don't know. I've been accused of being pretentious with my movie, which I'm really not. Eric Andre is one of my favorite shows ever. And it's the opposite of pretentious, and I think Point Break is a good movie with some bad
Really?
acting. And that's really it. That's all I could. The plot's very interesting. I mean, the Fast and the Furious literally stole the plot from Point Break.
Right.
There's some really cool action sequences, nice directing by Kathleen Bigelow. There's just some bad acting. Like I love Keanu so fucking much, but he's not really a good actor.
He's bad in that movie.
I am an FBI agent, Johnny Utah.
Quarterback.
You're just somehow the Ohio State All-American. The Patrick Swayze makes him sound like he was Trevor Lawrence of his school. He's just chilling there. The ending
Yeah,
makes no sense whatsoever.
he's not I think that's an iconic ending, like movie ending scene.
Oh, he throws a thing out. Yeah, he's right there, man. And he totally lets him go to, just let me get this one last one.
One way, man.
He just happens to be by himself, no cover. We were finally catching this man on the run in Australia, and they just see you go. Sometimes,
What is it? The 50-year storm.
yeah, the special 50-year storm that does ends it. And like sometimes I explain, like some movies just got a movie. Like
Right.
if you see some movies like Happy Gilmore, I don't think a critic would be in love with it, but it's just so funny and good vibes. Like that's just what movies have to do for you. You don't have to. I love movies a lot. I consider myself a cinephile, but I also like can chill with it. I know that movies just have to movie.
The other reason why I don't watch a lot of new movies is I'm such a slave to the stars and match that I see on Netflix or Amazon
The
Prime.
match, 98% match for you.
Like, I get, dude. And you know what Netflix is trying to shove down my throat?
What?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. I think that plays at my gym every morning.
Really?
Is that the one with No, it's Charmed is the one. Charmed is the one that they have it. I
No.
usually go between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. So
Do you have to wear a mask the whole time?
yep. I got into hit cardio this year, and I've only done it
Yeah.
with a mask on. So I hope it's going to be so weird the day that they said we don't need it. How much endurance I hope I built during this time.
How
You know
do
what?
people work out with masks on?
I don't know, but I could get fat, so I can't afford to not work out.
Yeah, but it's bulking season. You gotta tack on the extra lbs.
It's true. Right now I'm doing a lot of trying to get more cut, like lower reps, so more reps, lower weights, and I just
Yeah,
don't want.
being in shape's overrated. No one
Yeah, it really is true. I've learned about that, but I just like the sake of just I don't want to be a fat ass. Like just so it's a late
Yeah, I
bloomer,
know.
everything, and
It's all about how you feel.
like of course, like a lot of people would do it just for looks and attention, but I really do it for the sake of just not feeling like a bloated asshole.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it should be. Just kind of you go into the gym's all about getting in and getting confident.
Yep.
So it's also a good life motto.
And I just go to I go pretty much I go to Planet Fitness. That's pretty much all old people, and I'm just
Dude,
friends
isn't
with all of them.
Planet Fitness like the worst place in the world?
Okay, word to who? Listen, there's Planet Fitness in LA, like a LA Fitness or an Equinox, far from it, but it has the equipment there, and that's all I really need. Like how can somebody really
Did you
compare
watch?
gyms when it's the same equipment? I mean, some places have saunas and basketball courts and stuff, but
I canceled my Equinox membership.
Oh, that was one of the most Manhattan things you've done. An
Yeah, I
Equinox
know.
membership with your Airwood.
Equinox.
If you don't mind me
Yeah,
asking, how much they pay you? How much you had to get charged for that a month?
so it's usually $221
A month?
per month, but we like the
That's
company I work for has like a sponsor like a partnership with them.
oh
So
good.
I only pay $180 or I only have to pay $180.
I mean, at that point just you better not miss a day and you better be ripped
Yeah,
at
no,
that
it
point.
kind of worked. Yeah, I take like all the classes. I use all the towels that were there.
Yeah, like in that sense I get it. I really do get it if you really love that lifestyle. But if you
Right, yeah, but there's just like so like I feel like paying that type of money for a gym that's just like kind of like throwaway money, like
and then you just see the
there's
biggest
no
meatheads and the just the
well, not even
sexiest
like
women, I bet.
people are just like spending that money because they can.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're just doing it because they can.
You see any famous people at your Equinox?
No, I'm really bad at recognizing famous people, so
That's a good thing.
and
That's a
also
good
like
thing.
in New York, like especially like in the like everyone's just like on Instagram or looks like they could be famous, so you
Yeah.
never know.
It's just so packed with a mixture of both high end and low end people. Like the subway is just a perfect example. You could see a guy in Wall Street, and then you can just see a homeless dude in the same subway sitting next to each other. You know?
Right, right, yeah. The only like celebrities I recognize are like basketball players because they're so tall.
Yeah, it's hard to. Have you seen any NBA players in your time in New York? Any of the
In New
Knicks?
York, no, I didn't see an NBA player, but I was on Fifth Avenue walking towards my office, and I saw this dude wearing a he was all like Kansas State gear on. He was like 6'11" with like the basketball backpack, and I'm like,
Oh, I wonder who that is.
yeah. But no, I ran into when I worked out in Montauk over the summer, like during college, I saw Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh my
Um,
god, that traitor
yeah, he was like he like
chilling.
had a no, he literally like had a duck. Like the ceilings in the restaurant
He was that tall.
uh
Damn,
were like I don't know, like 6 feet, and he was like
it's
ducking
hilarious.
and covering. But yeah, and also if I ever did like recognize a celebrity, I probably wouldn't even. I definitely wouldn't ask for a picture with them.
Yeah, yeah. I just respect them and do what they do because just see a lot of high end people, like high profile people from work. You just learn that it's just no point of they get it all the time and they will for the rest of their lives. Even if you're not as famous as you used to be, if you're like have some kind of clout, you'll always have that for the rest of your life. So I just treat him like a human being. And like, by the way, KP isn't a traitor because he got traded, but he definitely didn't like being here. So
Yeah, well, I mean, the Knicks are just a disaster.
you and me are the
Like,
only true Knicks fans I know. You and me are the only
usually,
ones.
usually, like except for I tune in to I'm usually into every season because the Knicks they'll start out like 16 and 14, and everyone's like, oh man,
Yes, eighth
this is
seed.
it, like eight seed, like here we come, and then they just lose you know 18 out of their next 20. But this year it was different. They were just that team was so like thank God that COVID canceled the last 10 games.
Remember, I watched the last game where Vince Carter's last game ever, and he got the shot. We actually haven't won, but yeah, we got rid of what's his name? Um, Mike Miller replaced him, but oh my god, why can't I? Everyone was so hyped for him. LeBron's boy, what's his name?
On the Knicks.
The head coach before Mike Miller took over. LeBron's boy from the Heat. He also coached the Grizzlies.
Fizdale.
Yep, David Fizdale bounced. It's going to be hard for him to get a job again. And I'm excited. You
I don't
excited for Tom Thibodeau?
yeah, I don't know much. Like apparently he's like a I just don't know. I feel like that'd be a good hire. I feel like the Knicks are like a decade behind. I feel like that would have been a good hire in like
It seems like that
2004.
way. NBA free agency starts today or tomorrow, and nobody's
But
coming.
apparently, like you know, I'm not the most qualified. Like I'm not a huge NBA fan. I'm just a Knicks fan, but apparently Thibodeau is like tough on players. Like he's not
Yeah,
letting
he.
players play.
Hey man, he helped develop Carl Anthony Towns and Derrick Rose, and maybe we need
Right.
we. Where else are we gonna go from here? Seriously.
Who is there to develop on the team? Like all
What?
the young guys suck.
We only got Mitch Robinson, who has potential, and RJ, and even RJ's
That's
like here
yeah.
and
He's
there.
not. He's like had the least efficient year ever, right?
Yep.
Like as a rookie.
And we
Yeah.
have, but it's just think, third round pick. I don't know whether you're a Kevin Knox or I mean, who looks like a
Kevin
wasted
Knox.
pick. Wasted pick.
That's
Dennis
the
Smith
other thing.
Jr. played us. They thought he was going to be nice, and he ain't nothing. We all know
Frank
about Frank
Ntilikina.
Ntilikina. Yep, it's just
He like set some record for like playing like I think he played like 35 minutes and had 0 assists.
he almost
That
got
was
his ass
like
beat by LeBron.
yeah. I mean, they're just there's they were not usually like they'll at least allow like a couple fun players to watch like Michael Beasley.
Yep.
Like remember when everyone
Yeah,
was
David Lee was cool to watch.
DeAndre.
I love Stephon
Yeah,
Marbury when we were kids
yeah. I feel why did everyone hate Stephon Marbury? I feel like I was too young
because I hated his shoes. I feel.
to like Jamal Crawford taking 40 shots a game.
Oh man, we had like Tim Thomas and Kurt Thomas.
The last time like I really had fun watching the Knicks was the team before they traded for Melo.
The
The
team before they trade. So
Stoudemire.
like that, yeah. Amari Stoudemire, Tyson Chandler, David Gallinari, Raymond Felton, like
Yeah,
those guys.
yeah, yeah. And
But yeah, like
then I don't know. I have mixed. Like I
D'Antoni
don't
was the
know.
coach, was a coach back then, and then Woodson came
Yeah,
on.
yeah. But this year there was just like Julius Randle is just like went past the ball and that was their offense. They
Taj
usually just end
Gibson, the
up
same thing. Like these just guys. If we were just 10 years earlier, we'd be set. But I just
yeah, and that's the other thing. Like Mitchell Robinson would have been like an All NBA player like 20 years ago.
right.
Like it's just there's not a whole lot to root for. And with the Yankees too, like what is their future?
I just
Like
like
none of those.
when it comes to the Yankees, we're in an era that we're just having horrible playoff losses. Like Chapman clearly can't pitch in the playoffs. Third time's a charm. How do you have two straight seasons with season-ending home runs? No one's done that except him. Um,
Oh, the Astros are cheating.
Astros cheated too, and with that bullshit. I think with the Yankees, like I actually do say keep faith with them. They're like the Nationals had a lot of bad losses last decade, and they won in 2019.
Right.
I
Well, the thing with the Yankees is they're not gonna have problems like getting players.
no
Like that's
no
not the issue. The guys they have now, like I think they need to like I think they need a clean house. Like I love Judge, everyone loves him, but I wouldn't re-sign him. He's not young anymore, and he's played one healthy season.
Yeah, he came
Like
in old. He's an older. He came in as an older rookie. Like I think he didn't come in. He didn't get to the show till like 24, which is older for a player. But Aaron Judge will be. I think he's going to be 28, and
right,
oh, he's 28 right now. He's going to be 29 at the start of next season. That's pretty old. And you know how much I loved Aaron Judge. When I first met you, I was saying pay
right.
attention to him when he was when he was a
Yeah,
when
you
he
were.
was
Yeah, I give you credit there. You were the first person on the Aaron Judge bandwagon.
I
And
love Aaron
and
Judge. It's sorry, you were saying?
their pitching rotation, there's just something missing in their rotation. Their bullpen is like, you can't trust them in the playoffs.
Nope.
and then all these guys that they paid all this money to are injured all the time.
Especially Stanton. I was not for Stanton getting traded. What a waste that is. And that's so many years back. We still have him signed for what, 6 or 7 seasons. That's a long fucking time that we're stuck with this dude. And that prevents.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Clint Frazier to be the left fielder, and it's got to be now him. It's
They don't
just
like him though, right?
Clint Frazier.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had
what?
some
Yeah, what?
attitude
There was
problems.
some.
He had some really bad attitude problems. I think he started to change that, but it's just, yeah, he just had a bad attitude, like getting pissed about getting sent back to AAA and stuff. And like, even though it does suck, don't be vocal about it, but he did. And, that rubs people the wrong way. I think when it comes to the Yankees, they need one more starting. They need another ace next to Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole did what he had to do, but no one else did. I know Tanaka's not going to be a free agent anymore, so we'll see if he will be a free agent, so I don't know about re-signing him, or they, we have Delvey Garcia. I mean, as long as Boone doesn't take him out being a stupid analytical guy like he did in Game 2, that could be the future. We just need a second ace. No, I hate analytics. Like I think like
You hate analytics.
I think analytics are fine for the regular season, but don't use them in the playoffs. I mean, you saw the Blake Snell situation, I'm sure, right?
Right.
Kevin Cash taking him. What do you think? Was that the right thing to do?
No, definitely not. But yeah, I mean, I think it works. It's just tough to. I think it works over the course of a 162 game
Yep.
season. But in playoffs, there's just some matchups that you gotta ride.
You just have to go with your gut, and that clearly doesn't. But I do think the Yankees are fine. All I care about is re-signing DJ LeMahieu, and then it'd be cool if they brought Didi back. He's going to be a free agent. We need more lefties in the lineup. So like a Michael Brantley, if he came by to go to left, that'd be cool. Lefty bat and stuff like that. But Yankees are championship ready. They just have to. I do think you're right. Clean house. If we don't win this season, or at least win the pennant, then maybe it's time to reconsider things. Like Gary Sanchez, I don't know what they're gonna do about him now.
He's gone.
Did you know he's going to play fall ball in Venezuela this year? Winter ball. Either there or the Dominican Republic. He's going to play winter ball this year to help himself out.
But it's just so tough because none of those guys are none of their big bats are ever healthy, so you never really know, what's gonna become, what's gonna happen.
And Luke Voigt sucked in the playoffs, but he had a great regular season. As long as they could keep DJ LeMahieu, I'll be fine. What do you think they should do? I mean, you said already, clean house. Besides Judge, who do you think it might be time to say goodbye to?
Hicks is a bag of bones. I know he had a good playoffs, but he's not healthy either, and he's like that. I don't like that. What he's like, he's still got 5 years left on.
Yeah, Cashman loves him apparently.
Yeah, and he's like 32.
I believe so. I could confirm. Aaron Hicks is 31, but he just turned 31 in October. But yeah, he's getting there. Fine prime age, but
they need to shore up the rotation and just figure out, what's going on with. It's tough to say what they need to do just because they're kind of limited, and because the Stanton contract is
that just fucks everything. Oh man, seriously, dude.
It's tough, but we'll see. Hopefully, are they working on a new season? I saw the NBA's have a 17-game season, right?
Yeah, I think everything is according to plan at the moment, and just waiting for the big moment. Hey, can I ask you one thing? You, Joe, are a Las Vegas Raiders fan. Not an Oakland Raiders fan, a Las Vegas Raiders fan. I have to ask you, second in the NFC, in the AFC West so far. looking pretty good, much improved. John Gruden, besides getting in trouble for masks for not wearing masks.
Died Corian. Yeah, we definitely know who Gruden supported in the presidential race.
How you feeling? You like what your team's doing? Henry Ruggins looks like he's the shit. The tight end, what's his name?
Waller.
Darren Waller looks like he's
Waller.
legit. Derek Carr's being
Yeah,
much more improved. How you feeling about the Raiders?
yeah. I mean, there's a lot to like about what they're doing. I mean, it's Carr's third year in the system. I think you're definitely seeing the improvements. And the thing about the criticism with Derek Carr, everyone loves to say how he's not that good. He doesn't throw the ball down the field. They didn't have any. You see what he can do with receivers that can actually spread the field,
Yeah.
like Nelson Aguilar's
Hmm.
changed the offense, and I know he was like the most hated man in Philadelphia.
But fuck it, he's
um,
changing it now, right?
yeah, but he's been a really good addition. Ruggs was hurt early, but he stretches the field. I'm excited about his future. And then the offensive line has really been like the unsung hero of this season. I think they have the most expensive offensive line in the NFL, and they've only played, I think, 5 snaps together the entire season because everyone's, because
Yep.
before the Bucks game, like the whole offensive line was home that whole week because their
Because of
starting right tackle had COVID. So a lot of shuffling around there. But yeah, very excited about the future of the Las Vegas Raiders. Because a lot of their core players are young. Um,
badass
Not
stadium
paying
too.
them a ton of money. Yeah. There's just a lot to look forward to, and I love the combination of Gruden and Mike Mayock. I love Mayock. He's a great GM.
Dude, he's really stepped up and it's they didn't expect. I
Yeah,
know 5-3,
they
they might be able to pull off one of the wild cards, especially because they have an extra wild card team this year. And why not? Why not? Now it's starting to get the
yeah,
grit. My
yeah. Why
Giants are
why not? I mean, they're ready. Yeah, the Giants. You got to be excited about the Giants, right? I
yes.
think Joe Judge might be their guy, right?
So this is how I explain now. I know I've talked about it a lot throughout the episodes, but at this moment, Daniel Jones played against him. He looked good. He didn't have a turnover this week. Evan Ingram got to stop with his butterfingers and us too with our line issues, but our line really has improved the last few weeks. Less penalties. Andrew Thomas isn't like a turnstile letting these people just pounce on him. Playing a lot better. And if we beat Philly this week, we're back. We're somehow back in the playoff race, and if Dallas loses again, so I feel much better than before, and I just hope Daniel Jones plays like he did last week. And if he plays like this for the rest of the year, then there's no reason to drop him. Really isn't.
Do you think Danny Dimes is the future?
Yes, I do think Danny Dimes is the future. He's proven in the rare times when the line did work, he can play. He's good on his feet. He is throwing. He is hitting his targets. Whether the receivers want to catch it or not, that's a whole other story. But I like his chemistry with Slayton. I think even him and Golden Tate's been fine. I'm gonna take a leap of faith and said fine and let the Jets take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I actually growing up in like the New Jersey area, obviously a lot of my friends growing up were Giants and Jets fans. I actually dislike Giants fans more than Jets fans because the Giants obviously they had their Super Bowl runs,
Yep,
like when I think what was it 2007 and 2011,
yep. That's our
right?
2 years
Were they 9 and
of
7
four.
both those years?
Coincidentally, yeah. You know what's funny? We went the next year. We started 11-1, and we didn't. That
Yeah,
was the year Plaxico shot himself, and then we wound up going 12-4, and then we lost. We
yeah.
lost in
So
the playoffs after that.
that's the like Jets fans are just so like miserable. They're like Raider fans, you can't do
Yeah,
shit. Just like the franchise is just a disaster. but Giants fans, like every year after the second Super Bowl, like they'll start out, they'll be like 3-5, and then they'll win like one game, like, oh, like this could be the year, like we could sneak into the playoffs late and go on a run, and they earn that right to think like that, but it's just they're just so obnoxious. Like they'll be literally like 2-7 and went like beat the Washington football team.
That's our big highlight. You know what's funny? So this is true. Daniel Jones has only won 5 games in his career so far. And he's won 4 of them against Washington. That's a true fact. Yeah. My goodness gracious. But yeah, I can hear you. I do know a lot of asshole Giant fans. I think the Patriots fans are the worst ones, but I can see the entitlement come in with that and bragging rights, and the Jets are just
Boston sports fans are just so spoiled.
They've seen it's amazing. If you in this decade they saw all their 4 major league teams win a title. That's insane. Like I remember this kid said he'd go on to 7 parades and he was only 10. 7. I've only been to 2. And
Which one?
well, I went to the Yankee one and the Giant one. I went to the second Giant one, not the first one, but yeah, I mean, I gotta appreciate that, and it's been a long time since that day. And oh boy, I just need a deep breath. But yeah, it's been a tough season, but it has been just stress for us Giants fans too. I mean, we made the playoffs in 2016, tough loss to Green Bay, and then but the other ones we sucked.
Yeah, that was the Odell boat trip.
The boat trip. Yep, got in week 17, go on a boat trip with Victor Cruz and them, and then Odell didn't. I think he only had 1 catch that game. 1 catch in that playoff game. And you know what? You know who played well? Eli fucking Manning played well. Hall of Famer. I will go in the trenches to argue that. Maybe not a first ballot, but I think he could get in. It's gonna piss off so many people. I love it. I'm gonna love it. And
I feel like people don't hate Eli. Like, how could you hate Eli?
Oh, I find a lot of people, more Jet fans or whatever. I've seen a lot of people who hate Eli. I think people can respect Eli. Yes, I take that back. They can respect and like him, but they just don't think he's a Hall of Famer, and I will debate with that. And that'll be sweet. Yeah, only 5 other quarterbacks have that. They're all in the Hall of Famers, which include Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana.
Did you watch the game last night?
Yes.
Jets.
Jets and Pats.
Yeah, they were showing like Joe Flacco's stats on that playoff run when the Ravens.
Yeah. When they beat in 2012.
It was like the only. Yeah, it was like the only time in his career he had 4 games in a row or 3 games in a row with like a quarterback rating above like 100, like whatever, like close to the max.
He really made the most out of his Super Bowl run and being elite. And I mean, they made far in the playoffs. They beat the Patriots a couple times. Again, yeah, they did win that championship against San Francisco, but I think Eli has a better chance to get in over Joe Flacco. And he played.
Do you think Flacco? You don't think Flacco's a Hall of Famer? Probably not, right?
No, I don't think so. I'd argue against, and I can understand why. Matt Stafford? No, he's only won like 2 playoff games. I mean, he's brought Detroit to the playoffs, but
his stats. He's thrown for a ton of yards and a ton of touchdowns.
Let me see how many. I want to see how. I want to see. Let me just see. If you mind me pulling up his stats real quick. Let me see his accolades. So Matt Stafford. He's only 32 years old. He's been in the league forever. Him and Clayton Kershaw are boys. They grew up together.
They mention that every single
time. Right. All right. So, first round pick. That's 32. Yeah. Right. He has 1 Pro Bowl. He won the Comeback Player of the Year. That's really it for. Okay. Okay, this is kind of funny. Most years without a playoff win for number one overall pick is 11. But he has like he's already at 40,000 yards, and I don't know.
Look at his
He needs to win
stats.
some
They're fucking
playoff games.
nuts.
What? I mean, yeah, these are pretty nuts.
His stats are
270
nuts.
touchdowns to 140 interceptions, a 62.5 completion rating. His pass ratings at 89. I mean, 43,000 yards. That is pretty impressive in a 10-year career. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see your time will tell with Mr. Stafford. Do you think Aaron? Do you think the different sport does A-Rod should A-Rod be a Hall of Famer even though he cheated?
Yes, I love A Rod. I feel like A Rod like made a huge comeback.
Oh yeah, PR wise, he was one of the best PR
Yeah,
comebacks ever. He used to be the
yeah,
most hated man in sports, and then now married to J Lo, and they can't get enough of him.
yeah. Yeah, I think so. Right? Like he's still I don't know. He still probably would have made it in with that.
Oh yeah, my argument does steroids make you a better player? Not necessarily. They make you better endurance and durability, and they might help you hit the ball farther, but they don't actually enhance your skill per se.
Right. I don't know. I just love A Rod, so
Hmm.
throw him in the Hall of Fame.
Is Derek Carr gonna be a Hall of Famer?
We'll see. He's got to win some playoff games though.
Yeah,
Decent. He people that criticize him don't they criticize him because they don't watch,
the games.
his
Yeah, they just hear what other people have to say.
yeah, and like you know, he has actual, wide receivers that can stretch the field. He's not throwing to washed up Jordy Nelson and
Jordy knows.
Brandon LaFell. Uh,
No more Jared Cooks anymore or stuff like that.
Jared Cook was a beast. I love Jared Cook. He's one of my favorite Raiders of my lifetime, just
Would
because
do
they've
who
been so bad and there's not a lot of
and you're still loyal. The Raider fans are the really loyal ones. I mean, imagine being a Raider fan when John Madden was coach and like Jim Plunkett was playing.
yeah.
Those
Well, I've
badass
seen
days.
that. I mean, I know they Tuck rule. They made the Super Bowl the next year, but I was like 6, so I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
when they played against the Bucks.
Yeah, in 2002, and then the next time they made the playoffs was my junior year of college in uh 20 2016 2017 season. And that was the season that Carr broke his leg week
Hmm.
13 against
Right at the tail end, ready for the playoffs. Remember, there's a
yeah,
meme. They say, "Oh no, we suck again," from the Rob Schneider and the Water
yeah.
Boy.
So I had to watch Connor Cook against the Houston Texans on wild card weekend. Um, and they lost obviously, and then it's been rebuild ever since. But things are looking up. So very
For
excited
both
about
our
that.
teams. Yo, JDR, I hope one day if we see a Raiders Giants Super Bowl, we can see it together.
Yeah, if the Raiders make the Super Bowl, I'm not watching that at like a Super Bowl party. Like I'm watching that in my room. How
Yeah,
like I
that's
want to
how
go
I
to a
feel
Super
too.
Bowl party if my team was playing the Super Bowl.
Yeah, unless it was a party with all like true Giant fans or like, actually give a shit about the game, then yeah, I'd rather have that intimate special moment.
I feel like the game is second. Like the Super Bowl, like the game is actually secondary.
Oh
Like
yeah,
no one
people
really like it's all about the party, right? Like
they just go for the food and the halftime show and the commercials, and then the real football fans like enjoy it. It's so weird when you watch the Super Bowl, and it's just so you're just watching a regular football game you're watching the other 20 weeks prior, but it feels so much slower. Every little play counts, and at the end of the day the Super Bowl is just another game, but just has the most stakes to it.
right, yeah, it's nuts. Where yeah, the Super Bowl this
It's
year.
in
Where's the
Tampa
Super Bowl
this year,
again?
and I think they're actually going to let fans in pods.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so funny how like the states that you'd think would allow fans
Not
Only a big
even.
fan.
They don't give a. Florida doesn't give a fuck. Or Texas, like they had
I
they had
know.
the World Series in Texas. It's amazing. They only had like 11,000 fans, but it was still loud as fuck.
Which one of those states was close in the election? Was it
Nevada,
Georgia?
Georgia was the really close
Georgia.
one. They played the Atlanta
Uh,
Stadium.
that's nuts.
Oh man,
Yeah,
yo,
that was crazy. Um, uh, are we still recording?
yeah. I hope you're having fun. We could wrap up even at it for 2.5 hours. I hope you've been enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I'm having a great time. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Just let me know.
Killing for 2.5 hours. I like to end the podcast now with the Proust questionnaire, which I just started doing. You're the third person I've ever done this before, and I'm going to ask you 10 of these specific questions.
Your first 17 interviews. You didn't do it with your first 17 interviews.
Nope. I'm doing it for you specially, JDR. So you're going to start the trend for it. It's from inside the actor studio, and I'm going to ask you these special questions and just be honest with them. And I'm excited for this part. You ready for it?
Are any of them gonna get me canceled potentially?
I mean, it's kind of hard if you canceled yourself to these questions, but I guess anything's possible in this world. All right.
Let's roll.
All right. I don't know. I had them saved and the thing popped out. All right. So, are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right. Here is inside the actors. Oh, sorry. Here's the Proust questionnaire from Inside the Actor Studios. So, 10 questions, and we're starting now. All right. Ready? JDR.
Like rapid fire, yes, no.
No, they are short questions, but there's some thought to them. But they're easy questions. All right. Number one,
I don't
Joe.
like
What is your favorite word?
favorite word, dude.
Yep, dude. Good. What is your least favorite word?
Can't.
Great one. All right. What turns you on? And this is not sexual. I mean, it could be sexual, but it's like what turns you on in life?
Motivation.
I like it. What turns you off?
Laziness.
Great. What sound or noise do you love?
I like the sound of like wind blowing through the trees.
All right, sweet. I like that. What sound or noise do you hate?
Um, ambulance sirens, and
Mm,
that's what I hear all day.
tell me about it. What is your favorite curse word?
Shit.
What profession other than one that you're working on now would you like to attempt?
Porn star.
Interesting choice. That is something to do attempt. What profession would you not like to do?
Construction.
Okay. My last question for the day. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Let me in.
All right. So, JDR, we've learned a lot. We've had some amazing real estate advice. Went down memory lane, talked about our sports teams, and just had a lot of laughs and fun in between. Is there anything you want to say before we sign off here?
Not much. I think I said this earlier in the podcast, but really respect you for what you're doing, Matty B. Keep on going. Looking forward to what this podcast brings, and I'll be sure to listen. Thanks for
Well,
having me on, Matty B, aka Young Lord.
well, that means a lot, JDR and my buddy Joe. And thank you so much for coming on. I hope you won't. What was that?
The people's champ.
The people's champ.
The people's champ.
Yes, the people's champ, Joseph Del Rio. I hope you want to come on again. I certainly would love to have you on again. I think this was awesome. I got a lot out of it. And like I said, you are the fucking best, man. And just thank you so much for coming on today. You were awesome.
You're the man, Matty B. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Till next time, Joe. This is my guy, Joseph Del Rio. And I'll see you really, really soon, bro.
Peace, dog.
All right. I'll hit you up right after this recording ends. We can catch up for a few more minutes.